What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Incredible Joe, and I'm back at it again with another video. Like, subscribe, comment, share the notification bell so you can like the videos first, you can comment first, you can like first, you can get all these videos before everybody else. You can see them before everybody else, man. You can enjoy what's going on, because today we are doing a brand new, literally brand new 2019 Camaro SS. Yes, sir. Man, one thing about this Camaro that I do love, I love all Camaros. You guys know I have a sweet spot for Camaros. I really do. That was one of the first cars I wanted when I graduated. But you know, I kind of started loving the challenge a little bit more, and so that's what I got when I actually had the money to buy one. Now, one thing I love about the Camaro, right, is this orange color. I've seen them on the Corvettes too. I'm not really sure what kind of orange it is, but I do love this color on this car. Now, this is a 2019, so of course it came with a little bit of a facelift from the 2018 Camaro. One thing that changed on the 19 is the grille, the headlight fog lights, and the tail lights. Now, one thing that's different about the grille in the 2019 that I love is right here. It's kind of like an opening. It's not a badge there anymore. It's an opening. I don't know if you can see that. Get in there. It goes right there. All the air's been sucked into that. So that's one of the cool things about it. You got the new vent right here on the hood, and that's releasing the heat right there. And you can kind of feel it, and you put your hand right there. I just drove the car over here to Sugarloaf Mills, the mall right here. I love the wheel package that comes on the car. I love the black accents. Now, the black on the grille is going to be the same with every vehicle. Whether it's red, blue, purple, green, pink, it doesn't really matter, because the black is going to be there on all 2019s. I love the splitter on the car as well. Now, this is what a lot of people are getting aftermarket to kind of make it look like with the little springs or whatever, and it kind of has that look right there already built onto the car from the factory. I love the headlights of the car. Let me go ahead and start it up for you so you can see what those look like. Now, this car comes with 455 horsepower, 455 pound-foot of torque, and a menacing 0 to 60 of 4 seconds. Now, on my Scatpack, the 0 to 60 time on those cars are 4.4, I believe, anywhere from 4.3 to 4.5, I'm not really sure. So this car sits in the same class as my Scatpack. It comes with a 6.2 liter V8. My Scatpack comes with a 6.4 liter V8. So as well as the Scatpack Chargers, the Jeep SRT 8s, or Jeep SRT, whatever it is, those also come with 6.4s as well. Now, one thing about this car that I do like, as far as under the hood, you guys know how I feel. When I get under the hood, I want to be able to stick my hand down or something and not have to cut myself. You can most definitely do that on here. And in cars like this, everybody wants to work on their car. Everybody wants to make it faster. Everybody wants to make it quicker, more powerful, and things like that. So you can reach in here and do what you need to do, and not worry about having to cut your hands up and beat your hands up to do it. You have your Camaro on here. Now, one thing I wish would have been done is I wish these would have been personalized to the color of the car. If this is orange, it would have matched everything under the hood and it would have been very, very nice. You can see here, these are the heating vents, or the heat release vents from when the cars were in their hide and all that kind of stuff. It releases the heat through up there, and that's what's on top of the hood. Let's go ahead and shut that. Boom. The car comes with 245s on the front, and it comes with 275s on the rear. Now, one thing that Dodge once again did not do on the Scatpack, RT Scatpack anyway, is they put 245s all the way around. On the 392 Scatpack, they put 275s all the way around, which same car, same engine. The only thing that's different on the 392 is you come with different suspension and different hood. As far as all I know, you have your different track pages on the inside of the car, which if you unlock your PCM, you will have those in the RT Scatpack as well. So I feel like they should have put 275s around the car, you know, because with this car being what it is, and you want to compete, right, get as fast as 0 to 60, well, you're going to need better tires, you know, better suspension, things like that. But this is not about the Scatpack, it's about the Camaro. One thing I love about the Camaro that they did right here is they put the Camaro and the Brembo. This is small stuff that I do appreciate. The red Brembo, the Camaro right there on the brake caliper, they didn't put that on any other car. Like Mustang doesn't have Mustang on the brake caliper. Camaro doesn't have Camaro on the brake caliper. No, I'm sorry, it's Dodge. And I'm pretty sure the Corvette doesn't have it either. So I do appreciate the small things about the car. The height of the car is pretty much about as low as you're going to need it to be. On the front end, you're not going to have problems getting into different driveways and things like that, but you can if you take it the wrong way. You're not going to go straight up a driveway and things like that. So you look here, I'm 6'1". I'm staying a pretty good distance above the car. One thing about the car that changed in the 6th gen, I believe, is the roof height got shorter. Well, it did get, that is the right term. The roof height got shorter in the newer model cars. And I love the taillights on the back. Now, this is one problem that everyone had when the new 2019 facelift came in, because they didn't like the taillights. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first seen it, I didn't really care for it either. But you look here, this is not just one casing. You have space right here to put your hands there, boom. And to be honest with you, it's kind of growing on me. I like the way it looks. I like, you know, it's different. You know, there's no other car on the road that looks like this Camaro. I love the way the hips are on the back of the car, and the stance as well with the 245s. Now, let's say you have 305s in this car, things like that, your stance is gonna be amazing. I love the engine noise on the car coming out of the quad exhaust. These cars straight pipe would sound crazy. I'm talking about extremely crazy. But even with the stock exhaust, these cars sound just fine. There's nothing wrong with them. You can see the valves in there. Right here on this one right here, and the same thing on this side, you can see it in there. The valves open right there. This car comes with, I believe, 4 different modes. You have your auto, you have your comfort, track, you have snow, track, sport, and comfort. You have 4 different modes in the car, and they all do work separately. They all do work in individual modes, because you can feel each and every last one of them working in the car. I love how they put the SS on the back, so now you can kind of see as they're looking in the grill, which most of the time this car's gonna be in front of you anyway. You can see in the back, if it doesn't have SS, CL1, or whatever, it's not a V8 vehicle. So I do appreciate that. When I look at the outside of the car, my favorite feature are the headlights and the fog lights, because at night this car looks mean. I'm talking menacing mean. When I saw it behind me the other night, I was driving in front of it, and the one thing I noticed about these cars is you will never mistake these cars for anything else. You can kind of mistake a Challenger for a BMW because they both have this individual halos. If you don't know what you're looking at, I've seen it happen. With these cars, you know good and well that this is a Camaro. You have more like a frowny face right here in the front of the car, so it has more of a menacing look. It's not like a smile like the Corvette. The Challenger has a smile too. The Mustang looks mean, but you know, they don't look as mean as the Camaro. I love how it has like the indentation here going up the hood, as you can kind of see. So it's almost like a hood scoop, you know. And once again, if you don't have the SS, you're not going to have the heating vent as well. So now that we're going over the outside of the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and step into the inside, and then after that, we're going to get into the drive part of the vehicle. So stay tuned throughout the rest of the video. To start off with the interior of the video, I love the door panels. Now this is the 1SS. It's not the 2SS. It's going to have the lighting on the doors here and the sunroof and things like that. But nonetheless, it does have a very nice door panel. I love the way the lock button in here, the trunk buttons right there. And it's just the small things, you know what I mean? Let me go ahead and show you the trunk space. Push that button right there. Boom. Come back here. Lift it up. There's not a lot of trunk space, but it's a Camaro, so let's just be honest, you're not gonna fit people in here. You're not gonna have many groceries, you're not gonna have many bags when you go traveling and things like that. But nonetheless, you do have trunk space. It's not like it's just nothing there. You look up under there, you have all that going on. So you do have trunk space, you do have storage, but it's not gonna be a whole lot. Close it up, boom. So let's step back into the inside of the vehicle. Now, when you're still on the outside of the car and you walk into this car, the first thing you notice is this beautiful flat bottom steering wheel. I love how they have SS right there with the flat bottom. This, like, you know, it's just real nice. And it almost reminds me, don't criticize me, it almost reminds me somewhat of an Audi steering wheel, because it's smaller. You know, it is a Camaro. It's small, it has Camaro right there in the middle. The flat bottom is very nice, and it has like the hand grips right here so that you're fitting comfortable at 9 and 3 when you're driving the car. I love this up here. The only thing that could have been done differently in the speedometer would be the digital dash. The digital dash would have been really nice. Go ahead and start it up. See that? Sounds really nice. Chevrolet pops up right there. Everything in here is pretty much digital, but they should have put digital RPM range to the digital speedometer as well. You have 200 on the dash, as you can see. Go to different modes and show you what those are like. Tour, sport, track, snow, and ice. So it's not comfort, it's tour, which is pretty much the same thing. This car, like Dodge, comes with a rev limiter. It's not like Mustang where it's going to allow you to redline the car when you're revving it. You're going to stop probably around 3,000 RPMs or a little bit under. You see that? With the Mustang, you're not going to, with the Mustang, you can rev all the way to rev line and make it slapping loud. But in these cars, you cannot do that. In the Dodge, you cannot as well. The reason I keep bringing up Dodge is because this is a comparison. It's in that same class as those cars. You have your mode button right here, which is how you switch the modes of the car. You have your parking brake. And I love the interior. So the interior, this is what I love about the interior. How they have like the old fan look when it comes to the AC and the heating and things like that. To open it, you twist it that way. To close it, you twist it back this way. So I don't know if you can see right there, it's closed right now. Open it back up, and there you go. You got the heat blowing. So this is not the one with the dual AC, but they do have it. You go here, You have your audio, phone, Wi-Fi, and all the new GM products you're gonna have Wi-Fi inside the vehicle. For those of you who do not know, you have your Apple CarPlay and Android AutoPlay, which is pretty much Bluetooth for those phones, or not Bluetooth, but you can plug it into the car in your USB, and you can, everything on your phone is gonna project onto the screen, your text messages and things like that. And so that for your phone, your screen becomes your cell phone, and then you don't have to touch your phone while you're driving. That's why that feature is on these vehicles. So look over here. You have pretty much mediocre glove space, but nonetheless you do have glove compartment space. You look up here, I love the way this kind of sinks in. It's really a traditional look. When you look at the older Camaros, it almost looks pretty much like this. They pretty much reach back with this one. You do have in the 2SS, you will have the heads-up display on the screen up here. Not the screen, the windshield up there. I love the way this right here kind of dips in. The whole car looks pretty mean. Like I said, the door panel over there. Look at the seats. This is a cloth seat package, but nonetheless, the seats are very nice with the black and gray contrast. The back seats, well, they're pretty much non-usable. I'll get back there and show you. I'm 6'1", and I'm gonna show you how much legroom I don't have. The video we did the other day with the Mustang and Camaro, the Jeep in my car, I was in the back seat. I didn't film the Camaro part because it was dark, but my guy Ryan, who was 310 pounds, I was sitting behind him, and let me tell you, my knees were big decapitated. So I'm gonna get back there and show you what the legroom is like for all the people that are taller, that may have taller people riding with you, taller kids. Just kind of show you that this car may not be the one for you, but I'm gonna get back there and show you that now. I'm now in the back seat of the Camaro. Like I said, my headroom is pretty much nipped. I'm 6'1", I have a long torso, so maybe that's why, but my headroom is pretty much nipped. I can kind of slump down into the seat and I'll be kind of comfortable, you know what I'm saying, a little bit. You have pretty much no seating room right here in the middle because of the console right here. You have your storage, you can put your phone, keys, or whatever. You have pretty much, this is it. This is the back seat. That's it. You have zero leg room. If I let this seat back, you gotta be about 5'5" to drive the car and me sit behind you comfortably, because even like this, my knees are not what it do at all. You have, you know, your little elbow armrest right here, speaker right there. You got your little small window right here. So sitting in the back of this car, you know, I guess it can be fun and all, but for the most part, it's claustrophobia. That's really all it is. When we were sitting in the back of this car and he was smushing my legs, and I had just about that much leg room, and when he was smushing my legs, man, I had to really just sit back and catch my breath. Like, I had to calm down. I was pretty much gonna fall out in this car. But you know, like, you don't buy these cars for people to sit in the back seat. So I just want to give you guys a little drift of how things are. This is my foot room. I wear a size 11.5 shoe. When the seat goes back, my feet disappear pretty much. So for you to be 6'1", you will not fit in this car comfortably in the back seat. You probably won't get your children back here comfortably as you probably won't get your children back here comfortably either. So, you know what I'm saying, that's just the price you pay when you buy a car like this. But these cars go for around, I believe, 41,000, something like that. So for the price that you're paying for the car and the performance, it's worth it. But when you look at your situation, you have to really evaluate, am I going to be able to have this car comfortably without having my family kind of bog down the experience of having the vehicle? Because if you have a family and this is your only vehicle, yeah, cut it out. You're not going to do it. You're not going to be able to fit in this car. But if it's just you, or just you and your girl, you and your wife, or whatever, you know, maybe a small child in the baby seat or something like that, it may or may not work. But this car is more for the guy who's going on the weekend, the older guy who's retired, or the people who just have time, YouTubers, the people who just them and their girl, just them themselves. So this is what that car is for. It's not for the family. So let's go ahead and get back to the back in the front seat, and now I'm going to start the drive part of the video. All right, now time for the fun stuff, the drive part of the video. Now we are in track mode on the car, so the exhaust noise is gonna be a tad bit different. The response is gonna be different. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys when I'm driving this car, one thing I'm talking about, as soon as I get in the car, one thing I notice is how heavy the steering is on the car. For this being a lighter car, the steering is kind of heavy. And not saying that it's like the power steering is going out. It's just heavy, like you wouldn't expect that from a car like this. You know, you'd expect it to be light and nimble, kind of like the Mustang, kind of like the Audi. You would expect it to be like cars like that. And I know those are two different worlds of cars, but you know, when you look at this car, that's what you expect, because the car is not extremely heavy, it's not extremely light either. But when you look at why the car is made and where they're going with this car, it's not a muscle car anymore. You know, so for people that think this is still a muscle car, it's not. This car sounds good. That's one thing about this car I can't lie about. It sounds amazing. But for people that think this is still a muscle car, it's not. This is it's pretty much a true sports car. It's as sporty as they come. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's really not, but it's just where the car is now. Let me see. Woo. Now, one thing about this car that I do love is the backfire. And this is a stock vehicle, and it also has automatic up and down windows on both sides of the car. You have passenger up and down, driver as well. I have that on neither side of the car. I have not understood why since I had the car, but it comes on the Charger. Now, one thing about this car I do like is the backfire. Even with stock exhaust, my car didn't sound like this. You know, I didn't have backfire popping and crackling and like popcorn in the back of the car. I did not have that. You know, I'm not hating. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? This car, to be honest, when you look at exhaust noise, I feel like it goes Mustang, Dodge, Camaro. But the Camaro is pretty close second on the Dodge's heels. It's just that it's not quite as deep as those other cars when you look at the kind of car that it is. So that's where it goes. I didn't put the Camaro and the Corvette in there because it's kind of like it's a class of its own, right? The Corvette kind of fits in with a different kind of crowd. I guess the Grand Sport and the Stingray fits in with these cars, but that's not really what you think about when you think about the three muscle cars. The Dodge Challenger is still a muscle car, so that's like the last muscle car breathing on this earth. Now, one thing I want to say when it comes to the power delivery in the car, it doesn't really put down the power the way you would think it would. Now, in my car, maybe I'm spoiled because of the pedal commander and it gives it to me right then. But I also remember in my car when I first got it and it was stock, I could pretty much touch the gas. And we all know if you've been in a Scat or if you own a Scat, it's pretty twitchy. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's right down there, even with stock exhaust. Not stock exhaust, stock throttle performance without the pedal commander. But this car, you can kind of give it to it, and it's gonna take a minute for it to, it's almost like a pop out when he's winding up, when he drinks suspension, just get ready to punch him out. It's kind of what this car reminds me of. Now, do it pack a punch? It does. It's a very fast car. Like I said, I don't know, when it comes to like road racing and stuff like that, I don't know if it's gonna stand with the Challenger or the Charger, but I know it's gonna outrun the Mustang for sure. Now, when you look at what's in the car, 455 horsepower, 455 pounds for the torque, you would just expect it to come off the line a little bit quicker. You would expect it when you're at 30 miles per hour, when you punch the gas, to kind of, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit quicker, but it's not really there. Now, I'm not bashing this car in any any shape, form, or fashion. I love the Camaro. I would still buy a Camaro to this day. I would buy this one right here because I love the car. You know what I'm saying? It just, the name Camaro, it rings to you like Corvette. You know, it's a traditional name. You know, the same way Challenger, Mustang, all these cars are going to ring to you because they're traditional names. You know, like when people see these cars, they still get excited. When people get to drive these cars, they still get excited. So I would buy the car just simply off the strength of knowing those kind of things. But when you're looking at performance and how it's going to be put to the ground and things like that, I'm going to obviously have to go with Dodge. I'm just going to be real with you. Like I said, Mustang, I love Mustang too. I love the way it looks, but would I buy one? No, not really. Just simply because you have to do too much to the Mustang to get it to outrun the competition. And even with doing modifications to those cars, it's barely going to outrun them anyway, if it outruns them. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Camaro here, and with 455 pounds for the torque and 455 horsepower, you would just think it accelerate a little bit quicker. Now, when you're driving this car, do it get looks? Yes. People love the Camaro. They love the new facelift. You know, for most people anyway, outside the car community. Most people in the car community don't like it, but people outside the car community love it. I don't get it. But people love this car. They love looking at it. They love the way it sounds. You know what I'm saying? Because stock exhaust. Stock for stock, these cars in this order, Mustang, Camaro, Challenger. When you do exhaust modifications to a Dodge Challenger or Dodge Charger, it sounds extremely good. But stock for stock, when it comes from the factory, it goes Mustang, Camaro, Challenger, or Charger. For me, that's just how it is. And I know it don't make sense, you know, when you do the comparison, it should be stock for stock. Well, I'm not, because I don't have a stock exhaust. Now, when you do straight pipe on these cars, of course, I think I win, right? I have a Challenger. That's, you know, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not gonna really break it down for you. I already say what it is. So that's what it is with this car. I love the throttle response. I love the way the torque feels when you actually get it going. It takes so much to get the car going. Maybe with a pedal commander in this car, it would feel different, but as of right now, it's just not for me. Like, it's not an instant like I want it to be, like in my Challenger, or like hell, and even the Charger I've driven. So for those of you who have this car, you have a very nice car. You have a very fast car. You have a very it looks expensive. It's not very expensive, but it looks very expensive. Yeah, the technology is different. The functionality is great. You have a very nice car. So I'm not bashing any Camaro people because I love Camaro. My brother has a Camaro. One of my good friends has a Camaro here. So I'm not bashing anybody with a Camaro. I'm just giving my honest opinion. I would take my Scat over the SS just simply because of the way the power is put to the ground and the time it takes for the car to accelerate and the harsh acceleration. This car doesn't really accelerate that harsh at all. When you're in a Challenger, Scatpack or a Hellcat, whatever, and you accelerate, you kind of, you know what I'm saying, you jerk into the seat, your butt get tight. You don't really get that too much in this car, but at the end of the day, this is a very nice car. It's a very fast car, and you're gonna be standing up there with the competition. So it's the Incredible Joe. I hope you guys love this video because I sure took my time to, you know what I'm saying, kind of do a little bit differently, I guess, you know, than the rest of them, or I tried to. If I didn't, yeah, oh well, it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. Like, subscribe, comment, and share the notification bell so you can get these videos first. You can like first, you can comment first, and I really hope you guys stay tuned because I got one coming tomorrow. Should be tomorrow, and I really feel like you're gonna like it because I know I am. But either way, subscribe to the channel, man. It's Incredible Joe. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.